From one of Hollywood's undoubted nice guys finally putting his foot down, to certain stars not being too happy about the sort of attention being sent their film's way. These actors were less than pleased by the fandom at one point or another, and were not afraid to let folks know about it. Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 times movie fans pissed off actors. Number 10, Benedict Wong is quick to defend his young Doctor Strange co-star against trolls. There are some corners of the old interweb that seriously need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. This depressing reality was recently seen in the frankly disgusting amount of online abuse sent America Chavez actor Xochitl Gomez's way in the wake of making her MCU debut in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as the lesbian superhero with two mums. And it's something the newcomer's co-star Benedict Wong was very quick to take aim at during an interview the pair had with Asia One. On top of reminding folks just how much pressure was on the young performer's shoulders, with Gomez acting as one of the youngest MCU stars to date, Wong would confess, there's a real level of shame for all those trolls that are cowards not to actually put their face on, and they should feel a deep shame of what they're doing. Let's all just play nice, let's all just enjoy what we are representing. The fact Gomez is being forced to deal with this sort of horrendous behavior so early in her career is shameful in the first place, but at least the youngster has a no-nonsense Wong in her corner. Number 9, Charlie Cox is pissed at his lackluster No Way Home screening. With the Daredevil star being made aware of the largely positive and often audible responses to his long-awaited Matt Murdock return to the MCU in Spider-Man No Way Home, the Brit decided to head to a theatre and check out the reaction for himself alongside his wife. How sweet. However, in a soul-crushing twist of fate, Charlie Cox just so happened to walk into the only cinema screening of the Spidey flick that contained fans who couldn't have been less interested in his comeback. As the justifiably frustrated returning hero confessed to Radio Times, I snuck into a movie theatre near where I live and literally stood in the corner. And sadly, my experience was it was dead effing quiet. I was so disappointed. My wife was with me and she was recording me because it'd be fun to have that moment of everyone cheering and then tumbleweed. You had one job, Spidey fans. Way to spoil this particular homecoming. Number 8, Benedict Cumberbatch labels possessive fans as scary. Doctor Strange himself has found himself grappling with the idea of being the internet's boyfriend for what feels like an age. Jumping back to 2017, the Sherlock sensation confessed to Vanity Fair that while he's sometimes glad I'm bringing a ray of sunshine to an otherwise dull day, in a reference to a rather bizarre tweet shared with the star of sometimes when I'm sad, I picture a shirtless Benedict Cumberbatch slowly eating an apple fritter, try it. Some fans have exhibited rather scary behaviour towards him, as Cumberbatch would confess upon revealing that some disturbing people thought his own wife and child were PR stunts. I think really it's to do with the idea that the internet's boyfriend can't actually belong to anyone else but the internet. It's impossible he belongs to anyone but me. That's what obsessive, deluded, really scary behaviour is. And while this sort of possessive reaction hasn't entirely deterred the actor from being a continual presence in the MCU, it's not too hard to see why Benedict is in no mood to humour the odd few who take their Cumberbatch obsession a touch too far. Number 7, Ben Affleck was upset over the reaction to his Batman casting. Who'd be a superhero, eh? And more specifically, who would willingly throw themselves into the Batman mix on the back of just about every actor ever attached to the property being almost instantly rejected by the masses upon being cast? Well, Ben Affleck apparently. Despite definitely having the best intentions upon signing on the infamous dotted line though, the eventual Bruce Wayne once again found himself in the firing line from the second he agreed to join up with Zack Snyder for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And after keeping his feelings on the matter largely to himself over the years, Affleck would finally express his hurt at the high-profile backlash to his Bat casting in late 2021. As the star would tell the Howard Stern show when nudged on the fact fans went out of their way to sign a petition to get him fired, "You really, 100,000 signatures? You signed a effing petition like you have anything better to do with your day than sign petitions?" Yeah, he sounds a bit upset, doesn't he? Fast forward to 2022 and fans are now massively celebrating Affleck's reported return to the cape and cowl in the upcoming Aquaman sequel. What a world, eh? Number 6, Rachel Ziegler claps back at Snow White casting negativity. Rachel Ziegler was always set for bigger things in the wake of such a triumphant West Side Story big screen bow. And sure enough, it wasn't long before the talented actor was attached to star as Snow White in yet another no doubt successful live-action big screen adaptation from the House of Mouse. However, instead of unanimously rejoicing at the news of the gifted warbler and thespian being recruited, folks from the already noted more toxic and racist corners of the internet opted to take aim at the star and Disney for casting a Latinx actor in the leading role. In her initial pointed response to said critics, Ziegler would quickly quip in a since-deleted tweet, Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role. Later down the road, though, Ziegler and Andrew Garfield would discuss the dreadful response from those few online trolls in a Variety interview, with the former defiantly stating, "We need to love them in the right direction. At the end of the day, I have a job to do that I'm really excited to do. I get to be a Latina princess. And there's nothing those critics can do about that." Number 5, Jeffrey Wright smashes a piano over his Batman casting backlash. Returning to the murky underbelly of society, and your presenter is unfortunately not talking about Gotham City. The latest big screen Jim Gordon, Jeffrey Wright, was evidently not in the mood to humour one particularly narrow-minded Bat fan in the lead up to his showing in Matt Reeves' recent The Batman smash hit. In a dumb tweet that was inevitably taken down from the social media site, a Twitter user went out of their way to ask whether Wright was right for the role that was traditionally played by a white person, allowing a meme to do his blatantly pissed off talking for him. The actor playing the GCPD lieutenant simply responded with a short clip of Peter Sellers destroying a piano. Clearly fed up with receiving this sort of blatantly racist response to news of his inspired casting as the eventual commissioner, Wright's witty and understandably fed up meme retort very much lines up with the actor's other comments on stepping into the Gordon role. As he put it, Gordon is many things. He's relative to Gotham City, to the Gotham City Police Department, to Batman, to justice, and to corruption. And none of those things require that he be white. Well put, Jeff. Number 4, Ewan McGregor calls some Star Wars fans, well, not a very nice thing. Despite the generally positive mood a returning Ewan McGregor has been found sporting as of late, during his long-awaited return to the Skywalker saga, the Obi-Wan Kenobi star hasn't always had the best of relationships with the franchise and certain members of its fanbase. Jumping back to a time before the sequel trilogy had arrived on the scene, the Scottish sensation went on record to note in 2014 that he didn't have any experience with Star Wars fans. Going further, McGregor would blast those few Force-sensitive fanatics he did come into contact with. "The people I meet are the effers who want me to sign Star Wars photos so they can sell them on the internet, or the people at premieres who were crushing children against barriers to get me to sign their effing pictures of Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're not fans, they're parasitic lowlives and effing Wers." Thankfully, McGregor has definitely softened on his stance towards all things galaxy far, far away in recent times. But there was certainly a moment there when this Jedi clearly had little time for certain Star Wars fans. Number 3, Simon Pegg calls the Star Wars fanbase the most toxic. Sticking with the galaxy far, far away, in a fairly recent appearance on SiriusXM, Hollywood super nerd Simon Pegg will confess that the Star Wars fanbase really seems to be the most kind of toxic at the moment. However, the British comedy star was also quick to admit that he was a big part of said problem back in the day, with the actor taking aim at Jar Jar Binks before realizing there was an effing actor involved, and he was getting a lot of flack, and admitting, "I feel terrible about being part of that." Returning to the subject of modern-day toxicity within the Star Wars fandom though, Pegg would also add, "Star Wars, suddenly there's a little bit more diversity and everyone's kicking off about it. And it's really sad." And the actor was also quick to note how Star Trek fans have always been very, very inclusive and more progressive than the other star property in the galaxy. And I'm sure said Star Wars fans will take that very well, Simon. Number 2, Tom Hanks lets rip at intruding fans. In the most recent case of some movie fans clearly not knowing when to call it a day, arguably the nicest person currently working within the film industry finally snapped at some overly enthusiastic members of the public. With recent Elvis star Tom Hanks trying to simply escort his wife Rita Wilson back to their ride after a spot of dinner, the Hollywood superstar was greeted by a sea of excitable fans. Yet the second one of said intrusive folks ended up tripping up Hanks' missus, the actor understandably unleashed hell on the insensitive group. The eruption of "Guys, this is my wife, back the F off" soon resulted in a stunned silence as the guilty party quickly realised how far over the line they'd stepped, with next to no one blaming the Oscar winner for losing his cool the second he spotted his wife could be in jeopardy thanks to some unnecessarily invasive fans of the film star. Just leave him be, folks, leave him be. Number 1, Florence Pugh isn't happy fans are focusing more on her sex scenes. Any film starring global pop sensation Harry Styles and one of the most in-demand actors of her generation in Florence Pugh was always going to steal many a headline. However, the latter leading light isn't all that pleased about the type of attention being sent Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling, calling out those fans and critics who seem to be more interested in the movie's moments of intimacy than the actual plot. As Pugh would explain to Harper's Bazaar when discussing the topic of folks being a little too obsessed with the pair's sex scenes, when it's reduced to your sex scenes or to watch the most famous man in the world go down on someone, it's not why we do it. It's not why I'm in this industry. Pugh even went as far as to refuse to discuss said moments of intimacy during the aforementioned interview, confessing that's just not what I'm going to be discussing because this movie is bigger and better than that. Regardless of Pugh's understandable stance on the matter, it's evident all eyes will be on the upcoming thriller for a number of reasons. So here's hoping the pair's performances are enough to overshadow the general public's obsession with oral sex. And that's our list of any other times movie fans pissed off actors. Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, make sure to head on over to whatculture.com and find some more awesome articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I have been Gareth from whatculture.com. Thank you as always for clicking on this lovely video today. Hopefully I'll see you very, very soon, but in the meantime, be good to yourself. Bye bye!